It is Better Country 101.7 The Bull. Good to be with you here this morning, and good to be joined by a very special guest here this morning. And this is going to be a guy who's taking the stage next week at the Legacy Theater in Carthage. And this man has been wowing audiences across the country, honoring one of the greatest to ever do it in the music world, the great Phil Collins. But joining us now is Terry Adams Jr. From the Phil Collins Experience. Terry, good to chat with you here this morning. How are you doing?
Fantastic, Wyatt. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely there, Terry. Let's get to, we'll get to the Phil Collins stuff here in just a second here, but I do want to start with this. What kind of initially got you started in the music world, the performing world? You play the drums like Phil does. Was it Phil Collins that got you into it, or was there like a family member who piqued your interest? What got you into the music world in the first place?
Well, listen, I absolutely love Phil Collins. I think he is the second best drummer singer in the entire world that ever was. But the best drummer singer I've ever known is my own dad. And he played all over Europe growing up, and he put me on the drum kit when I was 3 years old. And I played my first gig when I was 9, and it just kind of went on from there.
Wow, that is so you've been around in music for a long, long time. And like you said, Phil Collins had a lot to do with that. Your whole thing is the Phil Collins Experience. What got you into Phil Collins and his music? Was there a concert that you saw him in? Was it just listening to him on the radio? What was it that got you interested?
Well, actually, it was Live Aid. If you remember Live Aid, he performed in London. And then he jumped on the Concorde and he flew to Philadelphia and performed in Philadelphia on the very same day. And it actually had nothing to do with when he was playing or anything. I was just obsessed with the Concorde at that time. I'm a huge aviation fanatic. I'm a general aviation pilot now. But back then, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so that got me interested in Phil Collins and wanting to know who this guy was. And, of course, he was a drummer-singer like my dad, so then the obsession started from there and just has never quit, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's turned into a pretty good career for you. We're talking with Terry Adams from the Phil Collins Experience here on 101.7 The Bull. And what is it that you tell somebody when they ask you why Phil Collins? What makes him so special? You kind of touched on it there a little bit, but what would you say Phil Collins' impact to the music world has been?
Oh, my goodness. Well, you won't find another artist with so much variety, first of all. And that's the excitement of me getting to do what I do, because I get on stage and I get to sing all these songs with so much variety. From song to song, they're so different. And so it's like an emotional roller coaster ride with this guy, from his time with Genesis and his solo career and his Disney soundtrack that he did, song to song, and the audiences are just right there with me the whole time. And so from a performance standpoint, it's just so exciting to be able to do this. And and the fact that he was so charitable with his career. When I grew up and I was playing drums for my dad always made a point of giving back to the community, playing charities for the local hospice every year, and that stuck with me. And so when I got into this, it was an opportunity to use this platform to give back as well.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit then about that. I was going to ask that a little bit later on, but let's cover that since you touched on it there. You do something really cool with your shows. Phil Collins, the song that he did, Another Day in Paradise, that raises awareness around the globe about homelessness, and you guys kind of carry that torch in every city that you perform in. Explain that a little bit more and how folks can maybe get on board if that's something that interests them.
Oh, I'll tell you what, this whole thing is a blessing, first of all, but that part of it, to know that we're giving back and able to use this platform to do it. Every city we go to, we sell our merchandise, obviously. We have T-shirts, drumsticks, tambourines. People love our tambourines, just getting involved with the show and having a good time. But anything that they buy, 100% of the profits go to your local charity. And it's, whoever we partner with in your city, then they come to the show and you can meet them there and they can tell you a little bit about what they do with helping people get off the street and help them get back on their feet. But we like to partner with them, and it really does make a difference.
We're talking with Terry Adams from the Phil Collins Experience here on 101.7 The Bull. A couple more questions before we let you go here, Terry. Is there a song when you're performing it? You talked about just the variety that Phil Collins has with his library. Is there a song that when you're performing it, the place just lights up, energy goes through the roof? Which song do you prefer performing? Is it a different song that you prefer performing the most?
Well, I think everybody knows In the Air Tonight. So from a performance standpoint, that is exciting for me because I don't start on the drums. I have the headset on and I'm singing the first part of the song, and then I walk back onto the drum kit and the big, famous fill, drum fill comes in there, and you can see the audience with the hands in the air doing the drum fill with me, and they're all getting into it. So obviously that is a fan favorite. But there's so many. I mean, there's so many songs that I love to sing. The very first song that I sung, I was 15. And when Phil Collins did the movie Buster, which if you haven't seen, by the way, is a great movie, he did the soundtrack, and he sang Groovy Kind of Love. And that became a number one hit in the United States and in England. And I love to sing that song just because it was the very first song that I sang. But there's so many. I mean, there's so many songs that, honestly, from song to song, I love every single one of them. And I think the audience will pick that up as I'm doing it as well.
Yeah, and I think that's just what makes Phil Collins so special. And the fact that you get to go and perform that every single day, just it has to be an absolute joy for a music guy like you. Terry Adams joining us here. Terry Adams Jr. joining us here. One more question here for folks looking forward to your show. You're going to be at the Legacy Theater on August 1st. Anyone who's going to be at that show, what can they plan on seeing when you take the stage there that Friday night?
It's going to be electric. First of all, I have family flying in from England next week, so it's going to be it's going to be exciting for me. I'm going to have a little extra pep in my step, I'm sure. But from an audience standpoint, when you look on stage, you've got 13 musicians on stage, all world-class musicians, the horn section, the backup singers, the two drum kits on stage, a percussionist. It's quite a sight to see. And these guys, you're going to see the joy from every single one of them, because as good as musicians they are, they're even better people, and they're a joy for me to travel with. But you're going to see that. You're going to feel it from the audience. And I love these small venues, by the way. I know the Legacy Theater is a smaller theater, which for me is my favorite because I love to get involved with the audience. I go out in the audience, get the crowd into it, and it's just going to be such a fun night. I can't wait.
Hey, man, we can't wait to have you here in West Central Illinois. Carthage is going to be welcoming you with open arms. Legacy Theater, August 1st. Get the details at the Legacy Theater website. He's Terry Adams from the Phil Collins Experience. And, Terry, thank you so much for taking the time and chatting with us here this morning. We had a great conversation, and look forward to your show there next week.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Get to the theater. Come have some fun with us. It's going to be an absolute joy, I promise.